It's the Infectious Groove Podcast, part of the Odd Pods Media Network. Recorded from Detroit, Michigan, and Jacksonville, Florida. The Infectious Groove Podcast is your source for jammy jams, album reviews, and the best in-depth music discussion. Thanks for joining us. Now here are your hosts.
That's right. This kicks off the several weeks or who knows how long of the Infectious Groove Podcast with hosts, but not the whole crew. And this week on the program, we are going to be enlightened, befuddled, and in sheer enjoyment of Michelle, second chairing the program this week. Michelle, welcome back.
I did it.
That's yet to be determined. Let's get through the episode.
I wish that there was an applause button, but it's great to be back, Russ.
It is great to be back. I'm going to ask you the world's most loaded question.
Oh, God.
Do you have any idea what we talked about either last week or the week before?
Last week we didn't have an episode.
We sure did. We sure did have an episode last week. I remember because I recorded half of the episode one night and then 4 days later at 6 a.m. recorded the other half of the episode after you and I and Kyle talked in our chat for 2 or 3 days. So we, in fact, now that should be a whole lot of hints as to what last week's episode was about.
It was about how we are changing the format.
How for a who knows how long period of time, yes, we are changing to where we're going to rotate between you and Kyle.
Yeah, apparently you can't make children go to bed at a certain time.
That's weird. I'd heard otherwise, but who knows?
Yeah, she's not cooperating.
However, we have found a workaround, and we're going to enjoy the stylings of Kyle some weeks and the sheer shenanigans that are Michelle other weeks.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
I'm sure it will be.
I'll get more time to talk now.
Right, yeah, which is what the world was in desperate need of. People look around and they say, "Oh my God, politics are worse than they've ever been. Religion is intruding into everything. I can't believe all of these clickbait titles and articles." And everybody says, "If Michelle would just talk more."
I would heal the world.
You would. Michael Jackson started the mission. And you're going to finish it. You're going to be the one to heal the world.
I just realized I wasn't on the last 2 episodes.
You weren't on the last 2 episodes, and you were sorely missed. So let's get into some feedback from the last 2 episodes.
Feedback, Joe.
Don't worry about that. Right. There's rock and roll be without feedback.
Listener EMZ from Twitter used to write into us a lot and got back to it just now and said, "This was a great show this week. Interesting and entertaining debate around subgenres of music. People like a sense of belonging. So since mods and rockers, when music was transforming, that became part of your identity. Interesting that you described Elvis as rock, because I only think of rock and roll as like a subgenre of rock itself named after the harder rock of the 60s. I totally agree that there's too much choice and that can be bad for you. Decision fatigue is something that's becoming more of a problem in modern day life, which is why I often just stay in my own little music bubble. Is it bad that I can't name a Drake song?" She says. But I do know what I like to listen to. And that, Michelle, comes from, all kidding aside, that comes from Kyle and I were talking about near the end of the rock episode, how like we are always saying you should go out and find rock, like what, if rock's your thing, like it's still out there. It's just not being served to you on a silver platter anymore. And Kyle and I got into the discussion of like back in quote, the good old days of the music industry, there used to be A&R guys who would like go out and quote, find the talent and, put it up on a pedestal. And that's what was put out there. So we kind of, not to redo the whole episode, but we were kind of going back and forth of like, maybe that's a good thing from the music industry, good old days, that should come back. Less of everything out there available. Just because somebody bought their kid a laptop and they have a mic in their basement doesn't mean their music needs to be on Spotify, clouding up the choice, right?
Right. I agree.
Going into last week's episode where Michelle so accurately described what we talked about, which was the changing format of the show. Blue Sky 28 says, "The chemistry between the three of you is a highlight of the podcast, and I look forward to when things return to that. But thanks for keeping us up to date despite the current circumstances. While I'm sad that the format I love is going to evolve, I'm also excited for the new dynamic." So that is very nice and encouraging. encouraging. Queer Defense Squad, which is Seth's podcast, changed over from his Thanks for Coming RuPaul's Drag Race podcast. He says, I'm super happy that the show will continue. The alternating of Michelle and Kyle will keep me engaged with the show because of the different vibes. I would love to come on the show if you need a guest, preferably a Michelle week, but I would be grateful for any invites. I think that's strictly because Seth wants to have it out with you over.
I was going to say, he just wants to fight with me. I mean, like, bring it. It's fine.
We should do that. We should start incorporating just an episode of, where people just come on to fight you.
With words, though, right?
Well, I don't know. Depends. If I can get paid, like if we can get more views on the YouTube channel with like slap fights or, water gun fights or something.
I would do like the tortilla thing.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, let's do that.
Anthony, Taylor's version, writes in and says, with your recent move to Florida, Russ, I have to admit I wondered if there were potential changes might come to the podcast, but definitely not in a bad way. The changes mentioned, I see them more as life adjustments being made. Glad to hear that both Kyle and Michelle will still be remaining part of the show. I'm a huge fan of all three of you. Honestly, every segment of your show is something I look forward to hearing. Y'all are always the best start to my Monday every week. Your humor, banter, fun, and positive music conversations, jammy jams, and so on is what has me loving your podcast. While life changes are practically inevitable, I hope your fun environment never changes. I will always be a huge supporter and fan of your show. We greatly appreciate those kind words, Anthony, for sure. Michelle, anything to say to Anthony, or he's just there?
Thanks, Anthony.
That's got to be the most sincere thing you've ever said on the show.
I'm a huge fan of yours, too.
The Itch Rocks chimes in, our friends from St. Louis, and says, listen to the Rock is Dead episode. Great discussion. I totally agree that it's out there and that it's on the listener to find it. That's just how the industry has gone with the ease of music creation, widening and the music industry's borders for what to make quote unquote popular. Regarding the definition of what rock music is the best, I always think of the words of Chris Rock. Whatever music was playing when you first started getting laid, you're going to love that music for the rest of your life.
I concur.
I totally agree as well. And we talked about that at length too, Michelle, where like I feel like a lot of times people are just like, that's not my rock music. Like if you grew up on Elvis and then Zeppelin happened, that's not rock music. You know what I mean? Like, and I feel like that just keeps, the wheel keeps on turning. Like people that grew up on Nirvana and Soundgarden now are like, that's not my rock music for what's out now,
We just had that conversation about pop music.
You had that? When did we have that conversation?
When I asked you what genre Ace of Base was, and you said pop, and I said,
so when you asked me a question, I gave you an answer, and you said no. That was a conversation to you.
Is that not a conversation?
That is not a conversation.
There was back and forth. What constitutes a conversation?
More than you saying no and piecing out on the conversation.
I said, don't like that.
You did. You did, as a matter of fact. Hopefully she's ready for it. She had 2 weeks off. It's our next segment that everyone on planet Earth knows is coming, and Michelle looks wildly unprepared for. Here we go. Our jammies. Michelle, would you like to go first in honor of you returning, or would you like to go second while you think of jammy jams to share with the crowd?
No, I have some. I would like to go first.
Okay. Oh, by the way, whether it's a Michelle week or a Kyle week going forward, I still very much need you to do the playlist on Sunday because
there wasn't one.
Yeah, there wasn't one this past week. I had a couple of jammy jams to share, but it wasn't worth like redoing the entire thing.
No, that's fine. I just was like, I don't think I missed it.
No, you didn't. So anyways,
you're telling me 4 days late.
Right. Yeah. Can you make sure to do that last Sunday? Without further ado, Michelle, will you please, the people have gone 2 weeks without Michelle jams.
And I wish I had 2 weeks worth. I guess I could make 2 weeks worth. So we were supposed to go see the Lumineers, but through a series of unfortunate events, we did not go. But the whole thing with like, you can't take a baby to a rock
so
concert.
Weird.
I don't know. Anyways.
Are you telling me the Lumineers are babyists and I didn't know it?
Yeah. Also, side note, do you need a ticket if you are taking a baby to a concert?
There's
like, do they need a ticket?
It's like flights. There's age limits on it. I think 2 and under is always free. Okay.
Anyways, so we didn't go, but when I was leading up to them, there was so it's a band called Camp, CAAMP, and they were supposed to open. And I was like, if we're going to be there for it, maybe I should check out some stuff. And I have really liked everything that I've heard by them.
Right on.
And so I'm just going to put like a plethora of their songs out there.
Sure.
There hasn't been like one standout, but I've just put on like when you go to Spotify, you just go to like an artist and you just hit play.
Right on.
It's something that I really do want to dive further into. It's something new that I had never heard of before. So
I've been hearing lately, like a lot of my friends have gone to concerts and been all about the openers, which I think is great. Like that, it used to be that way for me a lot. And like I have a friend that went and saw, I'm not going to know the openers for these artists, but I have a friend that went and saw Frank Turner the other night and was just raving about the opener. And then a friend of mine went and saw Jack Johnson and was raving about the band that opened for Jack Johnson. So that's rad too.
Yeah, I can name probably 2 openers that I've ever like really fell in love with my entire life.
Yeah, but that's because you don't like music though.
Right. And then another jam that came out of nowhere that's been stuck in my head specifically this week is Wildflowers by Tom Petty. I don't know why. It just came. I don't think I even heard it somewhere. I think it's just been, I don't know. I play it every morning now. It's kind of weird, but I love it.
It has been an unusual amount of time since we mentioned them, but do you remember when we went and saw the Lone Bellow in concert the night after Tom Petty passed away and they closed their show with a beautiful rendition of Wildflowers?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's my favorite Tom Petty song.
It's the whole record is really like a work of art. It's just, it's so good. But yeah, that song in particular fits your whole motto in life. Well,
I know.
I mean that in the most complimentary way I can say it toward the song and you.
This is kind of a sidebar, but it came on once while I was pregnant, and I was like, oh my God, I want to paint those lyrics on my baby's nursery wall.
Did you?
No.
So this is like the conversation that we had. I'm using Dr. Emo quotes.
So we didn't know if we were having a boy or a girl, and so like I didn't want it to be like all girly fonts if it was a boy, not that it matters, but and then I just never got around to it. You know, life kind of changes a lot after you have a baby. I don't know if you know that.
I have heard that. I don't even have a baby anymore. I have a full grown adult now. You saw pictures while he was down here this past week, dude.
You have a clone.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Don't I though? He's awesome too.
And then one more, just because of this is what I was listening to last week when I was trying to get ramped up for the show that we had to postpone, is just the Moulin Rouge soundtrack. I fucking love that soundtrack. I love the movie. I used to own the soundtrack when I was a kid on CD. I just fucking love it. So,
right on.
Anyways, that was it.
I have only ever seen the motion picture once, I think. And I don't know that I've ever heard the soundtrack, the whole soundtrack. Is the version of Teen Spirit from the movie on the soundtrack?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, before I tell you yes.
That was just a standout thing for me when the one time that I saw the movie, I was like, oh, wow, that's completely I wasn't even thinking. And actually, I might be able to make a case, by the way, that you might like the Elvis motion picture, the Elvis biopic that just came out, because it was directed by Baz Luhrmann, the same guy who did Moulin Rouge.
Oh, it is not on here.
Huh.
I thought that it was.
Okay. Well, maybe there's like an extended version of the soundtrack or something along those lines.
It's mostly, I mean, there's like a Rufus Wainwright song. There's David Bowie.
I love Rufus Wainwright so much.
You do love him or you hate him?
I do love him.
Oh, I thought you said, anyways.
Rufus Wainwright has a song that's not available on streaming that irritates the crap out of me. It's called Instant Pleasure. And it's like the only Rufus Wainwright song you can't get on streaming. And it's my favorite song by him.
He did that on purpose.
Oh, I have no doubt in my mind. He has no other bigger fish to fry than making sure my favorite song of his is not on streaming.
I actually found out about him. He opened for Ben Folds, and I saw him at Freedom Hill, and I was like in awe, like just like jaw on the ground. Like I need more info. This was the days before streaming, and I was like, I need everything that I can possibly eat up by this guy.
Yeah,
so.
and in turn, the only time I've ever seen Ben Folds was Ben Folds opening for Beck on the Odelay tour.
Weird.
And I knew Brick and everything, but I was like, yeah, okay, I'll see Ben Folds. And Ben Folds was great. And then Beck tore the roof off the place. Yeah, Beck was stunningly good that night. Like I was blown away by how good Beck was in concert. So anyways, those were your Jammy Jams, and I'm so excited that you had several. Like I know it's a running joke and everything, but you had like a good cross section of stuff that you've been listening to. That's rad.
Yeah.
So for me, I went down an Oasis rabbit hole on accident. And I'm not saying this to be funny. I don't know this about you. Do you Oasis, or are they just there for you?
Like Wonderwall.
And that's about it for you is Wonderwall?
I don't dislike Oasis, and I think that I know more than Wonderwall by them, but it was never one of those bands that I dove into. I just know the hits, and I'm not opposed to them. But
so the thing that happened to me with Oasis early on is off the first 2 records, the hits everyone knows are, at least here in the US, is Supersonic, Live Forever, Wonderwall, Don't Look Back in Anger, and Champagne Supernova. And those songs are all great. But I am telling you that every single song on those first 2 records that wasn't a single is as good or better than anything that you've ever liked by them. Like Some Might Say, Cast No Shadow, Hey Now, like it just goes on, all of those. And then in between their second and their third records, they put out a compilation CD of a bunch of B-sides that were released on CD singles, all of the singles for the first record. And I'm telling you, every one of those songs is as good as, there's a ballad that was a B-side called The Master Plan that I think is as good or better than Wonderwall and Don't Look Back in Anger put together. Like it's all just really
interesting.
Yeah, it's all really, really good stuff. So I will pick a good cross-section of Oasis stuff to go on the playlist. And they're one of those bands that just crosses my mind every so often, or Noel and Liam pull the David and Roger, or the Chris and Rich, or the Ray and Dave Davies, however you want to make your comparison, where every 2 minutes, the one to be relevant uses Oasis's name and the other brother's name in the press. Like I have a single coming out, and also my brother's an asshole, like Noel Gallagher says that Liam Gallagher is a dick, because they're not,
100th time.
Yeah, they're not going to report on a new Noel or Liam song. They're going to report on the quote. You know what I mean?
Right.
So every time that happens, I'm always like, oh man, yeah, I wish we could still have Oasis. Oh man, but those first 2 records and all those B-sides kick ass, And then I go down a rabbit hole again with it, because it's also, and it's very diverse stuff. Like, I will say this about Oasis. Their rockin' stuff all sounds the same. Like Live Forever sounds like Supersonic, sounds like Some Might Say, and their ballads are all very similar, but the 2 types that they do are different enough from each other for me to throw on a bunch and enjoy it, if that makes sense.
Right.
So
yes.
That is the first half of the episode. When we get back, I personally am pretty excited about this particular cover battle, because this is one of those ones that I don't know how this is going to go. And I personally started, before we did this, feeling one way, and then came up with a whole different decision for myself.
I feel a different way every day.
All right. Well, now it's going to be the time you're going to go on the record. We'll be right back with another totally epic cover battle. You're listening to the Infectious Groove Podcast on the Odd Pods Media Network.
Hey, I'm Lauren.
And I'm John.
And we host the Beard Al Podcast, the podcast where we talk about 2 of the greatest things in the world, beer and Weird Al.
And a lot of other things. We're funny.
Yeah, that's basically what I told him to say. Good job with your script.
Listen.
Yay! But no, seriously, we try and pair a beer with a Weird Al song and talk about both things and go where the conversation takes us. It's fun, I promise. You'll like it.
Yeah, I mean, if you like talking about random things as well as, fine craft beers and some wonderful craft music.
I'm Richie, a.k.a. Midnight Agent Raw.
I'm Devin, a.k.a. Special Delivery Dev.
We're the Super Media Bros Podcast. And each week, we give a comedically informative take on movies,
Music,
television,
pro wrestling,
and much more. Check us out at supermediabrospodcast.com, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere else that you can listen to podcasts. Shades on.
We're off.
We are back. It's Russ and Michelle, 2/3 of the potion that make up the Infectious Groove Podcast magic, as we've been told so much by our listeners, who we are grateful for. Michelle especially couldn't stop gushing earlier about our listeners and the feedback that they give us. And this week, we have circled back around to a totally epic cover battle. And the song in question this week is going to be Lady Marmalade. And for all you youngins, yes, there was an original version of this song that was released well before 2001. The original version of this song was performed by the group LaBelle. It was released in 1974, and it was number 1 for 1 week. It is in the National Recording Registry for being culturally, historically, and artistically significant. Now, Michelle, I have a question for you. I did look up this answer because I thought you were going to ask me. The famous French line in the song, do you know what it translates to?
Will you go to bed with me?
Close enough. It's do you want to sleep with me?
Oh.
Close enough. So needless to say, a lot of detractors from the original version of the song when it was popular was, oh, well, that's the only reason why it's popular. And it's like, well, probably not. It's a really catchy song in the first place. And I'm pretty sure most people in America didn't hear it and go, oh, I speak French, and know what
Yeah,
they're
and especially at that time, you couldn't just Google it.
Yeah.
Better?
Yes, you couldn't just, yes, you absolutely could not just Google it at that time. The song resurfaced once again, as Michelle referenced in the first half of the show, on the Moulin Rouge soundtrack, which was released in May 2001. That version features Christina Aguilera, Lil Kim, Mya, and Pink. This one was number one. Do you want to guess for how long, Michelle, that was number one?
Wait, also, isn't Missy Elliot on that? Doesn't she do the rap at the end?
Yes, I left out Missy Elliott and was able to look that up real quick. And the question, I apologize, that I asked before, that was the original was number one for 1 week on the charts. Michelle, do you know how long that the cover was number one on the charts?
40 weeks.
It was number one for 9 weeks, so just shy of 40 weeks. Number one on the chart. Missed it by that much. However, it's also interesting to note that this particular song holds the record for the longest number one ever held by an all-female collaboration.
Interesting that they... Okay. I'm with you now.
Okay. So like we always do, we go through a whole bunch of different points about the track in question. And I'm going to start with you on this, Michelle, and ask you, what do you like about the original version?
So I would just like to start out and say that I like going into this. This wasn't one of those songs where I was like, "Oh, that's a cover." But when I first heard the song, the Moulin Rouge version.
Yeah, for sure. I don't say that. I know earlier I said, "Oh, youngins," but like I bet a lot of people that was the first version they ever heard.
So I like different things, obviously, about each song, but the original version, I really enjoy her voice. I think that she really brings a lot to the table. Mm-hmm. I really enjoy the feeling that she puts into it. I don't know much else about her. Mm-hmm. It's Patti her, LaBelle. Right? It's not them.
Yeah, Patti LaBelle's the lead singer, yeah. And I will say this, Patti LaBelle is criminally underrated in the hierarchy of female singers.
Yeah, like I know, like I've heard her name before, and I know the song, and I'm sure if you played other songs, I would know it for me, mm-hmm. know them. But I've said this probably 1,000 times. It's one of those people that I forget about, and I really need to look more into, because every time I hear something by her and I realize it's her, I fall in love with her voice. So mm-hmm. I would say that probably her voice is my favorite part of this.
Yeah, for sure. And Patti LaBelle is criminally underrated. It's one of those things, man, where it's like if you're singing in an era with Aretha, Carol, Diana Ross was pumping out hits at that time, Tina Turner, somebody's going to get lost in the mix. And Patti LaBelle is that. And again, you're exactly right. I could play 10 Patti LaBelle songs for you that you would not only go, "Oh, I know this song," you'd be like, "Oh, what a jam." But again, when you're throwing out names like Carole King, Aretha, Tina Turner, Diana Ross, like I said, somebody's going to get lost in the mix. And unfortunately, that was Patti LaBelle a lot. Yeah.
And as you were naming those names, I was trying to think of if any of those other people had done the song, if it would be the same. And I just don't think it would.
It absolutely would not. No.
It's definitely her song. I mean, originally, I just don't think that anybody else could have originally come up with. I just love the way that the feeling behind her voice.
I couldn't agree more. I'm going to read you through some of the notes I put for what I liked about the original. And to be quite honest, the paragraph I could have wrote was say the same things Michelle said in a different way. Because first of all, I put Patti LaBelle's vocal is fire, and I put fire in all caps. I mean, it's fire.
How many fire emojis?
I didn't, this is in Microsoft Note, so it doesn't use emojis, but I would have used a minimum of 3. If I were using fire emojis. It's funkier and harder than I remember. Like when I went to put it on.
Oh, I agree.
I was like, I first revisited this track in a Publix parking lot recently, and I put it on, and as soon as it started, I was like, this is way funkier and stankier than I remember. Like I thought this was so much more laid back, the original, than I remember.
No, I couldn't agree more. After hearing the cover so many times, I think and that one is just so powerful that I just thought this one was less. And then I listened to that one first when we redid it, and I was like, damn, I just forgot how many fire emojis.
Yeah. You forgot that it was a minimum of 3.
Bare minimum.
And the last thing that I put, and I think you said this in so many words, is the original's got such a party vibe to it. Like, it sounds fun. You know what I mean? Like I know I've said this to you personally, Michelle, off the show many times. Like, if we're listening to like some 70s, I don't know, fill in the blank. And I'm always like, this is what cocaine sounds like, you know, this to me sounds like there was a lot of substances being taken, and not in a sloppy way. Like, they're having a blast.
Good for you.
Yeah. In a Hazan kudos way.
Yes, I would like to get to that level. Please bring me with you. I would like to be up there with you.
Make sure Zoe's in bed, and then we can start that party after like 9:30, 10ish.
11. But you just need a responsible adult to babysit. It's fine.
Exactly. So, having said all of those nice things falling all over the original, what do you like about the cover? I'll go first on this one. When you have Pink and Christina Aguilera on a track, the first thing that you're going to mention is the vocals. Right. I mean, like Christina and Pink, it's like, if I had never heard this before and you said, hey, you like that LaBelle song? Yeah. Okay. Well, we're going to, put it up against this cover. Oh, well, who's singing on it? And the first 2 names that came out of your mouth is Pink and Christina Aguilera. My bar is going to be set considerably high. Right.
Yes.
Okay. And I feel like both of those young ladies absolutely cleared the bar on that. And here's the thing, at least this is just my opinion. I don't feel like either of them went into it trying to outdo Patti LaBelle.
No.
Which, and I mean no disrespect toward Pink or Christina Aguilera when I say this, probably looking a little bit more of side eye in Christina's direction than Pink's, but I feel like a lot of people try to do that. Like, oh, I'm going to just go and out sing the original and that'll make it better. Right.
Oh yeah. And I could totally see how that would be easy to do when you're doing a cover, but and another thing is they didn't try to outdo each other.
Yes, there is I'm going to poop the sleeping arrangements trying to come up with this, but there is a Carole King tribute one time where, and I'm not, you know what, we keep the show vibe positive. I'm not even going to say who it was, but there were some female singers on stage, not the young ladies we're talking about now, and it was like embarrassing watching them try and outdo Carole King's vocal and try and outdo each other on TV. And it's like, why?
Yeah.
But I was concerned with that going into this. So I was very excited that neither of them did that. The only negative I'm going to point toward the cover is I could do without the rap in it. I don't think the rap adds anything to it.
I enjoy it. I think that was one of my positives about the rap.
And if you want to take it away into what you like about it from there, take it into what you like about it.
Was that the end of your list?
Yeah, I mean, and that's not even, we're supposed to be saying what we like about it, but I couldn't get through that without mentioning that. And I don't even hate the rap. I just don't think it brings anything to it is all.
So I think I'm not going to say dislike because then I'll be on record saying that. And then in like 6 cover episodes, you're going to be like, but you said you didn't like that. I generally like when a cover is different. Like, there are some that if it's line for line, note for note, and you're just singing it, in your own voice, then that's fine. But I love that this is different. I love the rap. I love that and I know that it's just, it puts its own spin on it, and I don't think it's in a bad way, which it very much could have been in a bad way. I think it could have been done poorly. I think it was done great, and I really do enjoy it. And I think that a lot of that comes from when I first heard it. Like, I was just like way into like, just like hip hop and rap that was on the radio. And I was like,
sure.
Look, like, this is great. And I really did like the rap. And then I already mentioned that I like that women didn't try to outdo each other, and they did everything in their style. They weren't trying to be Patti LaBelle. They were doing it like Pink sang like Pink, and
Christina
Aguilera. Yeah. And, Mya, which we don't hear much from her anymore. No. I don't know. She die?
No, I know that's always your go-to. Is fill in the blank dead? No, Mya did not pass away.
What's the one that died? Okay, anyways, I'm going to go down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, I was going to say, are you talking about Aaliyah?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Anyways,
so
back to the
moving back to the tracks.
So I appreciate it that it's different enough to be its own thing, but that it still pays homage to the original. And I have a lot of love for it because of the movie. I just adore the movie, so that brings a lot to the table for me.
I wondered for myself if that played into it, the fact that I've only seen the movie once, that like I don't have any like more connection to the song other than hearing it on the radio. Like it doesn't go with the film that I've seen many times,
Yeah, I could see that. Did you hear the song before you saw the film?
Yes. Oh God, how could you not? The song was every damn where.
So I guess I honestly can't say which came first, but I remember going to see this in the theater when it came out. So like it's very possible that like I could have seen this and then been like, oh my God, I need the soundtrack. And then
that's a big deal for you going to the theater. Whew.
I had a friend in high school who had a little thing for Ewan McGregor. And so when it came out, we all went to the movies to see it. Not that he's definitely fine on the eyes.
Was that friend's name Michelle? Do you want to just tell us all right now?
No. I was a Leonardo DiCaprio girl.
Oh, oh my God, you absolutely were. Jesus.
Yeah. So I watched all of his movies whenever.
Do you have any other points about the cover that you wanted to point out? Because there's one humorous thing about myself I wanted to point out, but I want to wait until you've got through your points.
That was it. That was my good points. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. And this is more of like Radio for One because Michelle's from Detroit and she knows that this is a thing that happens on Detroit radio. So there is a station in Detroit that will play versions of popular songs, but they will cut out all the rap parts. And the one that to give anybody listening an immediate an idea of it, if you remember the recent hit "Bang Bang" featuring Jessie J and Ariana Grande, there was a Nicki Minaj rap in that song that for me makes that song. Nicki Minaj is first in that song, and this station in Detroit plays a version where like that rap's just missing, and further
just the beat in the background.
Yeah, and further to that, they run these promos like they're proud of it. Do you know what I'm talking about, Michelle?
Yes.
Yeah, they'll be like 96.3 Detroit, all the pop music without the rap. Like,
yeah, I think they got in trouble for that because they don't do that.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think you can do that.
They don't say it anymore, but they definitely abide by that.
Yeah. They believe in it. They just don't express their beliefs to others anymore.
Yes.
But anyways, that's a long-winded way of saying when I first realized that I didn't enjoy, like the rap didn't add anything to this track for me. I was like, oh no.
Oh, you're an old.
Have I become an old? But then again, I remind myself in this conversation about like, for example, that Nicki Minaj and Ariana Grande and Jessie J song is nothing for me without the rap. So I just feel like I have such an affinity for this original that when the rap starts, I'm like, it's like when that rap group remade Walk Hard by Dewey Cox,
Yes, it's exactly like that if I had to make a comparison.
Yeah, if you have to make a valid and exact comparison, then that would be it. Okay, so we have two more questions that we ask, and one of them is a big one. Which one is your favorite and why? So, Michelle, we will go to you on this first. Which one, and I heard a rumor that your opinion changes on this daily. So right here, right now, in front of God and everybody, this is when you're going to share your pick with everybody, and this is going to be on record. There is no taking it back from here. So
no take backsies.
No take backsies. We have that rule in effect. Which is your favorite and why?
So I think that if I had a record player and one of each, and I had to pick one to put on, I think I would pick the cover.
Really?
The Pink Christina Aguilera Mya. I think.
By the way, when I'm editing the program, nothing makes me happier than when you trail off into nothing.
Yes.
That makes me excited. Yeah, and that too. When you do that also helps me. So, anyways, if you had both of them laying in front of you on the table, you would pick up the single for the cover and put that on, and why?
I guess it depends on my mood, but if I would, it's more of a. I know we talked about how the original like is a jam and it rocks and it's harder than we remember, but for me, the rap and everything in the cover makes it more of a jam, and it always puts me in a good mood, and it always makes me think of the movie, and I have more memories attached to it, which I don't know if that's fair.
No, that absolutely is fair. It's the reason why you would pick one over the other. Your memories are valid.
And so. Yeah. And it's nothing against the original. I don't have any negatives to either song. I know that you said about the rap, but there's nothing about either song where I was like, ooh, I wish that they didn't do that. So it's only pretty much about the memories that gives it the big push over to the ledge.
Hand to God, when I said, which is your favorite and why, and you said, which one was your favorite? And I said, okay, why? And you took a beat. I thought for sure you were going to be like the rap.
The thing you hate.
Yeah. No, I don't hate. I don't hate it at all. For me, when this started, when I even, because I've, Michelle, I have this huge list of all these covers that we're going to get through, right? When I put this one down, I literally was like, well, yeah, the cover for sure. But then I listened to them a ton this week, and pound for pound, same situation. I've got both of them laying here, and I'm going to put one on. I would put the original on by far. And here, I'm going to give you a couple of reasons why. First of all, and I promise I'm not saying this to be funny, the rap doesn't add anything to the cover for me. And number two, and I mean this in a good way, because we discussed how Christina and Pink were not like overdoing it and whatnot. They just don't sing the song any better than Patti LaBelle does for me. So like, you know what I mean? So like, if I
can agree with that.
You know what I mean? So like, if I'm going to put the song on to listen to the vocal, there's no reason for me to put the cover on before the original.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I think also, if you were to say Lady Marmalade to me, I would instantly go to the cover. Like, that's just what my brain goes to
I get that too. I think for a lot of people, I honestly, and I promise you, I'm not saying this to be at all funny or anything along those lines. There's probably a lot of people that are going to see this episode and be like, that was a cover, or
I would say I'm pretty sure I stumbled upon it. And I do know that, well, all of the songs, I maybe shouldn't say all the songs, the majority of the songs from the Moulin Rouge soundtrack are covers. So I probably did realize that at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would not be shocked, nor should anybody be embarrassed if you didn't know. I just feel like the original has kind of been buried by other people.
And the other thing about the other reason why I would pick the original over is, and this probably comes back to production or time and the way it was recorded. The cover is probably because of technology and the way it was recorded is tighter sounding to me. And again, we talked about, both of us agreed on this with the original. I love the party vibe on the original. Like if I was at a party, you're at a party and you put on the original, I feel like the whole vibe in the room is going to go up a notch, just from the vibe coming off the
I feel like about the cover.
I disagree. No, but
I don't disagree about it at the original, but I do think that the cover does, at least for maybe me. And
I was going to say, I
was at a party.
I submit, if you were at a party, like you party, I submit that would have heavily to do with the age of the people in the room.
I was going to say that, but I didn't want to make you sound like you're an old, even though I called you an old already like 5 minutes ago.
Right. And you do every day in our group chat.
And most times on this podcast. But that was the one time I was trying to censor myself.
Trying to be reserved and not call me an old. The last question we ask, and this is a Michelle invention. You added this to the list of questions after we had them decided on. And I love this because it could bring a different answer to every single cover that we pick. Which version would you recommend? And I'll go first on this. For me, I'm sticking with the original because I just don't feel like the cover adds anything to it that people need to hear. Like I just feel like
except for the rap,
which I don't care for. So like, let me put it this way. I don't feel like there's anybody I could recommend this song to that if I had them listen to the original, they would go, I would have liked that if there was some rap in it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So that's how I feel.
I understand what you're saying.
So that is what I would do. Michelle, which version would you recommend to people?
So I would recommend, if I met a person on the street who don't even know what Lady Marmalade is, that they start with the original. I would recommend that. I love the original so much that I would hope that it would get more appreciation, because the cover is so big, and I just feel like
the original.
I'm sure people hate it.
Yeah.
The original got lost in the shuffle, and I'm sure that there are people out there that hate the cover, but there's so many people out there that love it, and I feel like anybody who comes upon it who's into that style of music would also love it, that we need to bring back more listens to the original. And not that I would tell people not to listen to the cover, obviously, but I'd tell them to start with the original. Would
you do this? Would you say, here, listen to this, and then when they're done, be like, man, you want to hear that improved with rap?
I absolutely would, and then you'd be like, the rap sucks!
Yeah,
just jump out from behind the corner.
Because that is absolutely what I said.
Yes, run it back.
Right. Well, in my opinion, this here shuffling of Michelle and Kyle has got off to a raucous and wonderful start. Michelle next
Well,
week.
duh.
Well, yeah, well, I mean, it's a Michelle episode. So having said that, next week, Michelle and Kyle are going to play musical chairs, and we will have Kyle on the program with us in lieu of Michelle. There's going to be all sorts of things, not to spoil next week's episode, but there'll be things where like Kyle will remember what we talked about and have his jammy jams ready. It's going to be real mundane, real ridiculous stuff.
I do want to say that if we can both make it, we will.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean,
Okay.
I said on last week's episode that I had a feeling that the all-star roster of podcast creators that we have become friends with would absolutely step up and help us, and they have. So we have an embarrassment of riches of guest hosts who are going to come in and sit and be guests on the episode, and that is presuming each week that it's either Kyle or Michelle. But having said that, if you are a content creator who reached out to us and you're on our schedule, which we're still putting together for your appearance on the show, you just might get lucky and be the recipient of Kyle and Michelle at the exact same time. Yeah,
Brain exploding.
yeah. I mean, it's the stuff dreams are made of. Really. I mean, we did 140 some episodes with both y'all on there, and I consider every one of those to be the luckiest day of my life all together, all 140 times.
Well, I appreciate that.
You know, so anyways, next week, Kyle will be in the chair. I am still working out all the details for what we're going to do. But I do know that next week we will have a guest host with us and possibly Michelle. And we will have a regular discussion topic for next week. But for here and the now, like we always say about this time, without music, life would be a mistake. Bye.
Bye. The Infectious Groove podcast is hosted by Russ Robinson, Kyle Wimple, and Michelle Koselecki. Produced and edited by Russ Robinson. Intro and outro music composed by Chris Kimmel. Recorded with a Rode Podcaster Pro and Rode Pod mic.